Ever get this feeling like the world's changing so fast, like everything we thought we knew is kind of dissolving?
Yeah, definitely. And Michel Serres, he really tapped into that feeling in time of crises.
Totally. He's basically saying we're not just seeing a few changes here and there.
No, not at all. It's like a total break, a complete split from how things used to be.
A total system reset.
Yeah.
Almost like, remember the Stone Age? When things shifted from hunter-gatherer to farming? He's saying it's that big.
Huge. And what I find so interesting is how he actually backs it up, you know? It's not just like a feeling he has. He points to these major shifts, things that are happening all around us, but we kind of miss them because they're gradual.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, like the decline of those agricultural societies, that whole way of life, it's fading, and that's changing, well, everything, civilization as we know it.
Yeah.
And then there's how much longer we're all living. Life expectancy, way up. So that changes how we think about time, you know, like our place in the grand scheme of things.
It's true. These changes are huge, but they're sneaky. We're so caught up in our own little bubbles we don't even notice. It's like, oh, I'm just checking my phone. But meanwhile, the entire world is transforming. Serres calls this new era hominescence. It's like humanity's become this force of nature.
Exactly. It's a huge idea, right?
Yeah.
For most of human history, we've always seen ourselves as separate. Like we're on Earth, but not really part of it, you know? Serres says, nope, that's an illusion.
We are nature.
In a way, yeah. Completely woven into how the planet works. And our actions, they don't just disappear. They have these ripple effects that go way beyond what we even realize.
Okay, hold on. So you're saying it's bigger than just like, oh, we're polluting and messing up the climate, which, don't get me wrong, huge issues.
Yeah.
But this is different. It's like by even existing the way we do, we've knocked the planet off its course.
That's it. Serres uses this really vivid example. It's from a Goya painting. Picture this. Two guys, they're locked in this intense fight. Faces are strained, muscles are tense, the whole deal. You'd figure they're fighting over power, land, something important, right?
Yeah, totally. What else would it be?
But here's the catch. Goya painted them stuck, waist deep in quicksand. Every move they make, every punch they throw, it just sinks them deeper.
Whoa. Okay, I see where you're going with this. So we get so caught up in our own little battles, politics, the economy. Who said what on Twitter?
Exactly. We completely miss the bigger picture. We're all standing on this ground that's shifting faster than we realize.
And that shifting ground, that's what Serres calls the biogy.
Bingo. It's more than just a fancy word for the environment. He's making a point. The Earth isn't some passive stage where we play out our human drama.
It's alive.
It's an active player, this web of interconnected systems. And it's got its own rules, its own way of doing things, its own reactions to what we do.
So it's not enough to just be like, oh yeah, pollution is bad, gotta recycle. We need to understand how everything we do impacts the entire system, this biogy. We're all tangled up in it, right?
100%. And this is where it gets really interesting because Serres says we're in this brand new phase of human history. He calls it the 3-player game. For ages, we've acted like it was just us, 2 players. Society's over here, knowledge and ideas over there.
Building things, making discoveries, arguing.
Yeah.
The usual.
Right, but always with this assumption that we're in control, that we're the ones calling the shots. But now...
Plot twist. There's a 3rd player. Who is it? Tell me it's aliens.
Not aliens, but I like how you think. It's the bioge itself, and it's not just observing anymore. It's got skin in the game now, and we can't ignore it. It's like, imagine you're playing chess, right? You and a friend, totally focused on your next move, your strategy. Then all of a sudden the chessboard starts going haywire.
Haywire how?
Tilting, shifting, pieces are sliding around, some even fall off. That's the bioge jumping into the game.
Chaos.
Total chaos, and we can't keep playing by the old rules, can we? We need a whole new approach, and that's exactly what Serres says.
A new approach to everything.
He calls it a natural contract with the bioge. Not just a vague idea either. He gets into specifics.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he have that idea for a global institution? WAFL?
Yeah.
I remember that. What was that all about again?
Right. WAFL stands for water, air, fire, earth, and life. Serres imagined a world where the core parts of the bioge, they get a seat at the table.
Wait, literally? Like we're going to have a tree as a delegate at the UN?
Not literally. It's more of a thought experiment, right? He's trying to get us to rethink who or what gets to be part of decisions, especially the big ones that affect the whole planet.
So less about trees voting and more about shifting how we see ourselves making decisions at all when it comes to the bioshare.
Exactly. See, our systems right now, they're pretty much designed around us. What humans want, what we need. Serres is pushing for a bigger view. Think about the well-being of the whole biogen, not just our own little corner of it.
That's a lot. Like, how do we even begin to change something that fundamental?
Right.
We're talking about going from short-term gain to, the health of the planet for, ever.
Huge change, he admits that. But he says it all starts with how we think about knowing things in the first place. The way we divide up knowledge, hard sciences versus soft sciences.
Okay, yeah. Helpful sometimes, but...
Not enough anymore. We've got these massive, complicated issues, right? Serres says we need a more holistic view. Something that connects everything together.
More interdisciplinary stuff, pulling from different fields.
That's it. He even has a term for it. Sciences of Life and Earth. SciVite, for short.
SciVite. I like it. But paint me a picture. What's that actually look like?
Okay, take climate change, right? The old way. You've got your climate scientists looking at the atmosphere over here, economists trying to figure out carbon markets, sociologists studying how people are impacted, all separate.
Silos.
Exactly. SciVite, it smashes those silos, brings everyone to the same table, share your findings, debate your assumptions, work together to find solutions, because climate change, it's all those things tangled up. The atmosphere, the economy, how we live, the whole deal.
This is blowing my mind a little. It's like a whole different way of seeing, everything. How we understand the world, our place in it.
And not just seeing it differently, but acting differently too. Serres actually proposes 2 oaths.
2 oaths? Okay, you've got to elaborate on that.
Okay, so the first oath, it's like a modern-day Hippocratic oath, but for scientists specifically.
Makes sense. Science has gotten kind of powerful these days.
Right. It can really reshape the world, and Serres figured with that power, scientists, they need a strong moral compass,
Definitely. Don't be evil should be the bare minimum at this point.
Exactly. This oath, it's about making them really think about the consequences. Not just for us, for humans, but for the whole biogy.
I feel like we usually hear about ethics when it comes to stuff like, gene editing, AI, the big scary stuff.
Right, but Serres is saying every discovery matters. Even something small, when you scale it up, it can have huge ripple effects. We've got to be careful.
So that's oath number 1. What about the second? You said it was for everyone?
Yeah, this one's global, like a pact we all make, humanity deciding, okay, we're done with this whole exploitation thing.
Switching teams, from team take it all to
team symbiosis. Living with the biogy, not just taking from it, recognizing that we're not separate, our actions, they have consequences, and not just for us.
It's a huge shift, right? From me first to, what's the opposite of me first?
Maybe us in this together. Because it's not just about individual values changing, it's about a collective realization. And you know what Serres thought could help with that?
Oh, don't tell me. Another oath.
Not this time. He actually pointed to those soft technologies we talked about before.
Wait, like writing, printing, the internet? How do those fix anything?
Think about it. For centuries, knowledge, information, it was scarce, controlled by the powerful few. But now, information spreads like wildfire.
True. For better or worse.
Right. But that free flow, that's potential for more understanding, more collaboration. And when people understand how interconnected everything is,
they're more likely to act to protect it. I see what you're saying.
It's about a more ecological consciousness, driven by access to information.
It's kind of a hopeful idea, especially now when it feels like every day there's a new crisis,
Hopeful, but not passive hope. Serres wasn't saying, okay, everyone just kick back, technology will save us. He knew it takes effort, a conscious choice to use these tools to build that better future we're talking about.
So where do we start? If someone's listening to this, feeling inspired, what's one thing they can do?
Pay attention. Simple as that. Pay attention to how we interact with the biogy every single day. Where does your food come from? Your energy? What happens to your trash when you throw it away? Once you start paying attention, you start making more conscious choices. Choices that line up with that understanding that we're all in this together.
Love that. Pay attention. Make better choices. Seems doable.
It is, and you never know. Those little choices, they can ripple outwards. Maybe that's how we create that big shift Serres was talking about.
From those little ripples, a wave of change. I like it. Well, as always, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the brilliant and sometimes baffling mind of Michel Serres. We'll be back soon with more explorations of the ideas shaping our world. Until then, keep thinking, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep paying attention.